Adrienne. Hey, Eddie.
Hey man, I can't see I don't know, okay, so you had okay. I don't know if you guys can see me because I can't see myself. I just try to because I thought uh you know what I mean. So well, good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you. I'm sharing a screen right now. Does everybody see a screen right now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I see your screen.
But what about the people? Because I can see like blocks of people. Can you see blocks of people, Eddie?
Uh yeah, there's about nine
Okay.
of us, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Okay. Let's just so how's everybody doing? Adrienne, thank you so much for joining.
You're
Dominique.
welcome.
Hello,
Yeah.
good, thank you.
All right. We'll just wait for a few more minutes, but we wanted to just kind of dive
We have
in.
we have Eric here too with me here in the office, so I don't know if you guys see him.
Yep, I just saw him pop through the window. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I wanted to go ahead and get started. I want to respect everybody's time. Um, Thank you so much for joining. Every single week, we have a weekly live training, and this could be about real estate. This could be about loans. Previously, it's been about loans. Tom has been hosting the previous ones. He had something to do today, so I wanted to just kind of chime in and add some input as well. And then Eddie, if you guys have not met Eddie, he is, I've been working with Eddie for quite some time. Actually, me and him actually worked together for Tom when we first started in the industry back in the 90s. We actually worked at a company called AmeriQuest Mortgage Company back in the days. And so me and him have worked quite some time together. He actually controls all the operations for our affiliate partner mortgage company called New Level Equity. And so I lean on him for all the loan stuff. And he's a great coach. He's a great mentor. And thank you so much for joining us today, Eddie. And then let's
Thank you.
see who else is on. I think Lavinia is on as well. And then I see Alex has joined. Welcome, Taylor, Ludwig, Katerina, Luis. Okay. All right. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get started. For those that are new, you guys are going to have access to what we call our online community. It's called Dials to Deals. And it's a community where I wanted to bring everybody together where I can kind of just post input, post insights, and then obviously keep you well up to date in terms of all of the new events, all of the new trainings available for all of our new reps. So over and beyond what we do personally, go ahead. You'll go ahead and get access to this online community. It's going to be divided up. If you see on the left-hand side, it's going to be divided up into announcements, which is all of everything that I'm going to be posting. If you guys happen to have questions, this is a great area for you to just post questions, no matter what it may be about. Maybe it's about the CRM, maybe it's about specific marketing strategies, maybe it's about, hey, I don't know what to do. Go ahead, post them right into this section here, and one of us, if not I, will be able to respond accordingly. Okay.
Okay.
The loan desk is where you might want to, if you come across a loan scenario, you don't have any question, you don't know the answers to, go ahead, ask that question right into the loan deal desk, and then Eddie and his team will go ahead and be able to respond. Any scenarios, obviously, don't divulge any type of sensitive, confidential, contact client information. Just give us the scenario. Hey, this guy is looking to take some cash out, but he has multiple streams of income. What can we do? Can we do something like that? Okay. Um, Real estate analysis, again, this applies also to the real estate stuff. If you come across anybody that says, hey, I'm looking to sell, but it's in a trust, are you able to do that? How can I, make sure that one of us is still on the trust? How do I take it? Anything that relates to the real estate side, buying or selling, go ahead and post that right into this section here. And again, myself, I don't know if Albert was able to jump on, we'll be able to kind of chime in and kind of give you some input. So this is kind of like that area where, hey, I can't connect with you via text, via email. Let's go ahead, jump in the group, and then one of us, or if not your peers, will be able to respond. Okay. All right. So again, use this online community. It's a great place to just ask questions, get your inputs, and then also, as much as you can contribute, like some of the comments, contribute yourself. Obviously, we want to see some engagement in this community. Okay. As you can see up here, the learning section. This is where you're going to be having access to our online courses. Again, we're going to be adding on specific courses according to your role. And then obviously, as you start to get licensed, we're going to start adding on additional courses as well. All of this is free to you, so don't worry about that. Once you go ahead and log in, to prepare everybody to focus on what we're doing. Again, and you'll learn a little bit more about our focus when you go into and dive into the modules. But this is very robust. So it's about 64 courses long. It's designed to go and go over specific areas that we want you guys to focus on over the course of 30, 60, 90 days. Obviously, there is no time frame. You can go ahead and divulge and go ahead and complete it as fast as you want. But again, the goal of this is to understand everything. The goal of this is to comprehend. There's going to be not only a video, but also some downloadables so that you can go ahead, dive right in and kind of understand fully what this whole idea about is, it's supposed to answer a lot of your questions that you may have in regards to specific topics, okay? So there's going to be a video. Normally the video is going to be about 4 to 6 minutes long, so it's not too long. Underneath that, there's going to be some areas where, hey, this is going to be the text part. Read that. There's going to be some action items for you to go ahead and complete for yourself, right? If you want to apply some of the knowledge, go ahead and apply that. And then on the right-hand side, there's going to be a downloadable PDF, which dives a little bit deeper, okay? So very comprehensive, according to how you learn visually. If you read it, if you want to download something, make some notes, great. I wanted to make sure that all of the resources are there for you, okay? Also, one of the other things, if I go back here, if you scroll down to the bottom, I made available some example calls. So everybody has been asking, hey, I want to hear what others have been saying on the calls. And this is specifically for agents and SDRs who are coming into the industry. Maybe you're already familiar with the industry, great. But from our perspective, there is a specific method to the madness. And it's great to just see some examples. So on the bottom, there's going to be some resources section. So the call training library, there's going to be some examples of others who have made calls. So go ahead and listen to all of those, okay? Your scripts, okay? Your scripts are going to be down here on the bottom as well. Why does that keep going back? I'm not too sure. Okay. On the bottom again, if I scroll down to the bottom, there's going to be scripts right here, your cold calling playbook and scripts. I do add every module is going to be a combination of not only for your outbound calls, but also some social media. I don't want to ignore the fact that social media is important. But the bottom line is, and I think I've had this conversation with every one of you, just make sure what you're doing results into an actual appointment or a good quality conversation. That's really all I care about. Now, if you want to build your brand at the same time, awesome. That's my main goal. For all of those that are on the pathway to get licensed, I want to make sure that you start building your brand accordingly. And then so that when you do get licensed, you have already built up your following, built up your brand, and then you can go ahead and scale from there. Okay. But the bottom line is take all of this knowledge and all of the additional courses that we're going to be adding. Make sure that your bottom line is how many appointments did I generate today, and then how many calls did how many conversations did I really have today? Okay. And then if you guys want to chime in, feel free. Ask me any questions along this next 20 minutes or so. I'll be more than happy to answer, okay? So I don't want this to be a one-way. I want this to be interactive. But I wanted to make sure at least I cover this part with every new rep, every agent that's coming on board, or those that have just gotten started and that have not accessed this, this is really where you want to get started. Now, if you want to get on the calls as fast as possible, and a lot of you guys have been asking this, I want you guys to at least go over the foundation area. So this is going to be phase 1, right? And then week 1, week 2, week 3, and then week 4. Okay. Complete that. That should give you at least the basis to start having some quality conversations. Okay. And now you can always continue to learn according to your own pace. But if you, as soon as you let me know that, hey, Perry, and I can track it on the back end, as long as I see that you've completed at least the foundation area, then I'll know, hey, at least I know that you've covered some of the basics. And let's go ahead, get your list. Let's jump onto the CRM and then start making, having you go through that to practice making calls. Okay. Anybody have any questions so far on this? Okay. All right. If not, I'm going to go ahead and jump on to the next area, which is going to go into a little bit more of just the nuts and bolts of our lesson. What we wanted to cover today, and again, I wanted to have a combination of just both the real estate and the loans. And so hopefully you guys can see this. It's the off-market deals. Let me know if you guys can see this screen. I just changed it to, okay, awesome.
I can see it.
Awesome. All right, so part of our SDR role is reaching out to property owners, and that's going to be a combination of those that want to, right, take some equity out of their homes, and then some of them are going to say, hey, listen, you know what? I'm not actually looking to take some equity out, but I am looking to potentially sell. Okay. Once you hear those buying signals, that's going to be an off-market opportunity. Okay. And there are going to be specific opportunities that you want to pay more attention to than others. There's going to be the traditional people, those that, hey, listen, we've lived in our home for quite some time. All of our kids have moved out. I'm just looking to do a traditional sale, which is awesome. We'll be more than happy to accommodate that. I think Al has just jumped on. Welcome, Al. And again, if you guys have not met Al, I'm pretty sure most of you guys have. Al runs our real estate side, so he has a tremendous amount of knowledge. Him and I actually go way back. I was the best man at his wedding. And so again, we Eddie, Albert, Tom, if you guys have met him, met all of them. We've all been working together for quite some time. So trust these guys. I trust these guys. And I lean on them for a tremendous amount of wisdom and knowledge, especially about business, but also as a person as well as people. Okay. So again, going back to sourcing off-market deals, when you are talking to people, again, you're going to have areas where they want to have some financing solutions, right? Take some equity out, or take some equity out to buy more properties. Then there's going to be opportunities where they're going to be, hey, listen, I'm looking to sell, and I'm looking to sell quick. I don't really want to list, right? My house is really ugly. I've got some deferred maintenance. If you hear something like that, that's a thumbs up. Okay, that's a thumbs up. And I'll tell you why. We have a growing, tremendous database of investors. We invest ourselves, but at the same time, we cater towards those business owners, and a lot of those business owners are also investors. Okay. So when you're sourcing off-market deals, what we're looking for are those that absolutely, they're off-market, they're more flexible, they want to get things done, and they want to usually get things done quickly. Okay. So normally if you have a scenario like that, and if you can see this top portion here, less competition, right? Not everybody will know about that. There's going to be better margins for the investor, for us, if we take that in-house. Usually the negotiation, since we're direct, okay, we're going to be able to better understand what their requirements are. We are looking for flexibility on the terms, not just for ourselves, but for our investors. And then obviously the opportunity to create value. Okay. If we are finding off-market deals, and if you guys are becoming on the pathway to agents on the real estate side, I want you guys to focus on finding listings. Okay. Once you guys find listings, then everything else will come into play. We'll probably already have a buyer for that from a traditional perspective and or from an investor perspective. Okay. Now, it's totally going to be up to you to negotiate with our seller or with your seller. What's the total commission going to be? Is it going to be just for the listing side? Is it going to be for the buying side? And then we might want to negotiate, hey, what happens if I find my own buyer? Okay. And normally what that happens is that sometimes they're okay with that. Sometimes they're not okay with that. We just got to make sure that full disclosure is available. Okay. Some examples, right? There are going to be some people that are already online, for sale by owner listings. Okay. Many of those guys that sell for sale by owner going to end up with an agent, because simply for sale by owners, if they're not savvy on the back end, they're not going to have time to deal with clients. They're not going to have time to negotiate. They're not going to have the wherewithal to kind of handle all the paperwork or the transaction. That's the majority of the case. Some people will be fine with that, but for some that say, hey, listen, this is too much, for sale by owner listings that you find online, many of them will end up selling through an agent. So that's a great area for you to reach out to. Inherited homes. Inherited homes means that if there's a situation where there's probate, if there's been a death in the family, many of those times those homes will transfer over to their heirs or to their family. Sometimes those families are living in other states. They can't handle the mortgage payments. So they look at areas for solutions, and that usually comes through, hey, I may need to sell this. I need to work through the course to get approval, but they are looking to potentially sell that property. Okay. An area for referrals is probate attorneys. Okay. So if you want to source off-market deals, for sale by owner, they usually post that online. You can always search online. Inherited homes, connect with your local probate attorneys. They'll be more than happy to potentially work with you on some deals. I know that Al has worked with a tremendous amount of attorneys on their probates. Sometimes they're hairy though, right? Sometimes there's a lot of things going on, but you have to be professional. Lean on us for that back end support, but make sure that you understand that's a process. So inherited homes got to be sensitive to the family and be able to understand how that works. Okay, landlords, right? A lot of individuals. Oh, I've got an idea, and I usually do this myself. I'll usually look at Zillow or Craigslist, find out, what are the landlords that are posting their properties online for rent? Because why? Because their properties are vacant, right? They've got a rental property that's vacant. Why don't I reach out? Hey, what's your plans for this property? What happens if you don't get it rented? Are you looking to potentially sell? Do you need some cash out? Right? Those are some opportunities that are very obvious online that you can obviously reach out to. Okay, pre-foreclosures. You've got to be able to access lists. We do have access to those kind of listings, pre-foreclosures. But if you even go on Zillow, they even showcase those as well. So anything online that you have access to, you can actually easily find some of these off-market deals. Pre-foreclosures, I can see that on Zillow, preforeclosure.com. You can see these all over the place. Tax defaulted, a little bit more tougher to find, but there are data providers that can provide that type of list. And then driving through your neighborhood, right? There's going to be some areas where, hey, you know what? That's a great area, but I see this house. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but you got weeds kind of, overgrown. You've got, looks like newspapers are piling up. Hey, jot that down. Jot down that address. We can provide you with the tools to kind of skip trace the back end, find out who the owner is, find out what the phone number or email is. It's very easy to skip trace anybody. You can Google search anybody and find out who the owner of a property is. Okay. Did somebody want to chime in? Oh, okay. I thought I heard somebody. Okay.
Hey Perry, I do have a comment.
Okay, awesome.
So guys, this is Al. I just thank you, Perry, for putting on this training. I just wanted to chime in on the probate issue. So anytime a property is there's a death in the family and there is no will, it's automatically going to go to probate. Okay, which again is going to create a tremendous amount of potential conflict, especially if there's more than one potential heir. So this thing can get tied up in a court process. And normally with probate, we could be looking at 1 to 2 years out before they come to resolution. So what's important to know is that when we're calling somebody and there's a potential probate issue, what we're looking to do is buy down that time. So the cost of that is part of the equity. So when we're buying, when we're making offers or we're trying to transact with something that's in probate, we're looking to offer the buyer 70% under market value. And what is important about that? Well, it gives us an opportunity to come in, buy something under market value, and then turn around and offer it back into the market, off market. Okay, so one of the big other issues that we're going to see is the factoring of time. When you're dealing with property that's potentially in a divorce situation, which I've done multiple in the last year, dealing with multiple attorneys on both sides, dealing with the court process, we are dealing with a tremendous amount of potential liability. And it becomes very, very important that we understand the process. But guess what? As you're making contacts, you're going to come across these. And it presents an opportunity for us to come in as professionals and give them solutions, which is why they may not want to put it on the market. They may want to keep it off the market because they don't want the neighbors to know, that they don't want a for sale sign in the front yard. And so they're more apt to keep things private. They want to move things quickly. And because of that, they're willing to take less of a profit than if they were to put it traditionally on the market. The other thing is privacy. Sometimes people don't want to do an open house. They don't want, hundreds of people walking through their homes on a weekend. There's so much tremendous amount of distress they may be going through already, especially if it's a divorce. And so they don't want people in their home, or they're just going through stuff. There may have been a death in the family and they don't want people going through their home. So the off market, scenario allows them an opportunity to get this house sold, move it fast, and do it in a way that kind of protects their privacy. And so it's a win-win. We have to find the win-win scenario that works for both parties. And I mean both the buyer, the seller, and the potential buyer. Because if we have an off-market buyer, like in this situation, if it's a divorce, and we're putting it off market, guess what? We have an opportunity to find the buyer and do the buyer's loan. Okay, but we have to disclose that this is a potential court situation because of the divorce. And on top of that, we're not looking to use that as an advantage for the buyer. Remember, we have fiduciary duty to both sides. So on the buying side, although we want to let them know this is a potential divorce situation, we're not using that as a leverage to milk the seller. Does that make sense? We have a fiduciary duty if we are looking to represent both parties. So just keep that in mind as you're making calls. Life is happening to people, and meaning so that deaths are happening, people are getting divorced, all kinds of situations where people are getting are retiring and they want to downsize and they don't want to stay in the area. They want to sell here and move somewhere else. It's crazy. In fact, I have a client now that we're working on that they left California for Nevada, but now they want to come back to California. Okay. And they want to come back to the Bay Area. So they're looking for a new home. They were looking for another home in Gilroy, and the pricing in Gilroy it's around $850 on the low end to $1.5 million for the newer side. So we're getting them in the process again. They're pre-qualified, and guess what? We're going to be taking them shopping sometime at the end of the month. Okay, so many things are happening. Some are leaving, some are coming back, some are new families. They need more space. Some are, they're empty nesters and they need to leave, right? So many different scenarios when you're making calls. Just make sure you're open to having that conversation. And really, it's about making a connection on the phone and developing enough trust that people are willing to open up to you and say, hey, this is what I'm really dealing with. Here's what I'm looking at. I need to get this thing, this done because I need to move or I need to do something. So just a little bit of insight, Perry, on what you were mentioning about this is a huge area, this off-market deal. Again, there's a need, there's a situation for it, and it's our job to discover it and then help them with this with the situation here. Perry, anything else on that? I want to turn it back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to ask you for the SDRs or agents that are obviously needing support. What's before they're setting up appointment for you and your team? What information do you want to see from them? So that that these individuals are either serious or they're more qualified than just they're just look and lose. What do you want to kind of know right off the bat from a potential seller?
The biggest question we want to answer is why. Okay. What and why? What are you looking to accomplish? What are your goals in the next 30 to 60 days? How urgent is this? How important is this? When somebody says, well, I'm looking to sell, I'm trying to move, I want to leave this area. And so the question I'd be like, so on a time frame perspective, I mean, are you looking to have this happen in the next 30 to 60 days? Because there's a process to it. And if time is an issue, we want to do some things to prepare you for this. So whether or not you want to sell, or move, one of the things we want to do is do a market analysis. Number one, we're not trying to close right there on that first call. It's just a setup. It's just a setup for us to come in and do our due diligence. So if somebody says they're interested in selling, really what we want to do is offer that free analysis, because that free analysis will allow us to have the next conversation, which is based on facts. Now, here's the facts. Your property is worth X amount of dollars. The facts, here's what you owe on the property, right? So here's what we can do. If you were to sell today's average market based on this price versus after we deduct everything, here's what you could potentially net, right? So now we're able to draw them out, at least give them a vision of what could happen if they're selling, if they sell. And then obviously the next question is, now where would you like to go? Right. So now we're even taking a step in the further. Well, I'm interested in going to, the Central Valley. Really? That's great. Which city are you interested in? Well, I'm interested in, in Ripon or Baker or somewhere. So now we could kind of draw them out. And okay, well, so what are you looking for there? Well, I'm looking for a single family home, and this is our price range, right? So now we know that from the proceeds of the sale that they can potentially pay cash for the next house. Right, so the more they're involved and they have knowledge of what's possible, the more it is easier for them to make a decision. My suggestion is we move forward. Let's do this analysis. Let's see what the market looks like for your property, and then let's get you in touch with one of our reps. Right, that's a conversation. We didn't talk about rates. We didn't talk about markets. All we did is I call this it's like playing volleyball, and you got to bump the ball. You're going to set it up for us to come in and I would say spike it, but at least do the next part. This is like, and I'm originally from LA, so I'm gonna say it's like Laker basketball. This is the fast pace, yeah. We got to move, we're all working together, but you know what, you pass the ball and then, what happens is I get a yes, they want to make a move and I pass the ball to Eddie and Eddie does what he, this is how fast things can move. In fact, Eddie and I were working on one particular one, and I had sold the property in Huntington Beach, and the client used cryptocurrency to purchase the property. He used Ethereum, and so instead of selling his Ethereum, which creates a taxable event, he staked it, borrowed 100% to borrow against his Ethereum to buy this property. And I guess we closed the deal, it was all done. And I get a call from him, I think yesterday, and he says, Al, I need to refinance it out of that cryptocurrency loan and into a traditional loan. Okay. So within 10 minutes, I said, listen, let me call my guy. And I introduced him to Eddie. And in my conversation with Eddie this morning, the only thing I wanted to know was that they at least talked. So when I called Eddie this morning and I said, did you guys talk? He said, yep. I said, great. We are on, first base. The fact that we were able
Let
to
me give
get
you an
that
update.
conversation. Oh, there you go.
You,
Go
you
ahead,
want an
Eddie.
update on that?
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
I
Let's
just
do a
got
live
off the phone
update.
with
Okay.
Let's do a live update.
All
Okay,
right.
so I just got him the proposal, and we went over it together on the phone. And I'm sending him the loan application link right now, and then the loan disclosure. So he's just gonna choose which program that I offered him. So as soon as he makes that decision, we'll get this going, man. So
Yep.
congratulations.
Just like that, guys. So, and that's why it's important that Eddie and I, like, we all are in communication, because sometimes things move very quickly in this industry. And you know what? One of the things I notice is when people are trying to refinance, or there's a tremendous amount of stress and pain. They're not sleeping at night. They're up all night worrying about those bills. They're worrying about those payments. And you get the call, and you happen to catch you at the right time, and you say, hey, listen, we're doing a free analysis. We can help you reduce debt, pay off bills. I'm like, pay off bills? What do I need to do? Right? So instead of chasing people, we're really looking to get really good at identifying who's hungry. Who's hungry? Because you can run with one, 100 faster than you can drag one. Right? So hunger and pain causes people to move. Hunger and pain causes people to, like, I need to do something now. These bills are out of control, or this divorce is happening faster than I expected, and we need to, things need to happen. Or there's medical issues that are happening, and people need to pull cash out to pay for some of these medical expenses. Right? So just know that, if you know that in your heart, and you know that as you're talking to people, be prepared to at least acknowledge that people are going through stuff, and we have solutions. Okay, we have potential solutions, right? And these solutions are going to help you get back on track. It's going to help get these finances in order, and get you into an area where you have some peace around your situation. So hopefully, Perry, thank you, Eddie, for sharing that. That's great news. You guys have any questions for me, let me know. But Perry, I'll turn it back to you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Albert. And so again, he described a scenario, right? Going back to this, there's going to be potential sellers. They're going to want to potentially move somewhere else. And then in that process, they probably need to take the proceeds from the sale and put together some financing for the next property. So Eddie, if you could chime in, what is the information that you would like to see, right, in order for you to do a pre-approval properly?
Well, that's actually what I wanted to. I know you asked me if I could share the loan tips, and I think that would cover it. I emailed you something that maybe we could share to the group right now. Did you get my email?
Mm, I will probably share that within the online group, but just go ahead and just cover it
Okay.
real brief. Yeah.
So, all right. So, just gonna go over this because I think what do we have like more? How much more time do we have?
Well,
But
we
if
are,
I don't, then we'll just share this with everybody.
yeah, why
So,
don't we just take
okay,
like
so
another 10 minutes or so? Yeah.
10 minutes. Okay. So we're going to talk about like credit and financial readiness tips for these people that are maybe getting ready to buy a home. What you wanted to make sure that they need to check their credit early, and you have to encourage them to review their credit report at least 3 to 6 months before applying for a loan, and do not coach them not to open new credit lines, because what we want to do is that to give them the highest buying power, right? And that's kind of like how you're going to coach them, not to open new credit lines, not to apply any credit cards, car loans, pay down any type of revolving debts. Like revolving debts are like credit cards, line of credit. You want to keep that below 50%. So, some people, they just max it out. and sometimes they go over their balance. So, like say if they have a $5,000 credit limit on a credit card, you want to keep that down to $2,500. Okay, it doesn't help if they keep it down to 1,000. I mean, if they cannot, but just keep it down 50% of the balance. Um, Avoid large deposits and withdrawals on their bank accounts. The reasons for that is because to avoid any money laundering, when the lender when they ask for 2 months bank statements, if there are large deposits, they need to source that. They want to know where that large deposit came from, and it better be from one of your accounts, because if it came from outside, we're gonna need to explain where that money came from, right? So and explain why this credit score matters. And there's three credit bureaus. If you don't know yet, there's Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And the lenders will only look at the middle. So there's always going to be the highest one, there's going to be a lowest one, and there's the middle score. Sometimes the client say, "Hey, I have Credit Karma," but they only provide one score. What if that score they're looking at is actually the highest one? So that's why you cannot always you can always provide disclosure and say, "Hey, I can give this to you, but this is not set in stone, because once I pull your credit, if it's something that says otherwise, then I might have to retract what I told you." So just kind of say that, okay, this I can maybe give you a proposal, but this is just, again, this is not set in stone. But not until I pull your credit, then I won't be able to give you the actual the the closest proposal that you would get approved for. And then, of course, for down payment and fund, this is just like another tip. You need to plan, for down payment, you need to save up actually. The more down payment that they can put, the better interest rate they will get, better program that they will qualify for. Although there are programs that are available for them, especially for people that are just starting, and they're young couples, they don't have that much money, and they need money to buy furniture and appliances, and maybe they can only put 3.5 down, or they can put 3% down or 5% down. But there is a loan, there are loan programs called down payment assistance program, where they don't have to put any down payment, but they have to qualify for this, obviously. And then there are also a program where they can the closing costs can be covered by the lender as well. And that, we can talk about that more in depth later. There are different programs. There are VA loans, FHA loans, conventional loans, obviously. And then again, try not to coach them not to move their money around. Just keep their money in one account. It's so much easier when we do the loan. Pre-approval tips, okay, for them to get pre-approved, right, with the loan. Not We can do not just pre-approval, we can do actually full-on underwritten approval. How to do that is that they just need to submit everything that they have, like their tax return, W-2, pay stubs. Even if they haven't found a property yet, I can submit that already to the lender. They can take a look at their income, because sometimes, here's a tip: never trust them. If you ask them how much money they make, always go with the lower side, because they overestimate, and sometimes, that will actually get you. So ask them, provide your tax, the most 1 month's worth of pay stubs. So if they get paid twice a month, we need two of those. If they get 4 times a month, like every week, we need four of those, 1 month's worth. We need your W-2, your two most recent years, 2 consecutive years in their tax return. And then based on that, and then we pull their credit, we can see all their liabilities, how much debt they have. Then the lender will be able to determine their purchasing power. And then at that point, once we have that approval, underwritten approval, man, our offer to this, like say, if you find a place, we can make it as strong as possible, where we won't even have to put a contingency, loan contingency. That is like as strong as a cash offer. Okay, so without loan contingency, because we already know they already approved with the underwriter, they have already seen everything. They already verified their job. They already verified their employment. They verified their income. So this is just as strong as a cash offer. So that's how you guys are going to stand out as you compete with these other realtors out there. And then the loan program, I can go over that later on. There's FHA, VA, USDA. USDA is much like for people who are looking for farms, agricultural type of lands, and for to qualify, we need to have like a zip code, and we'll know if they're approved, USDA approved for that particular property. These are more like for Central Valley, they might want to build a house in a big ranch or what have you. And during the loan process, you need to make sure that you let them know that we are just as like if you guys are the loan agent, we are just the facilitator. Don't hate the messenger. Okay, we're here. We are in the same team. We want to win. I'm helping you get this thing done. So if I ask for any documentation, any information that the lender is asking for, I'm not the one who's asking for this. Please, please, please provide as soon as possible, because the sooner we can get it, the sooner we can get that approved and written off by the underwriter, the sooner we can close this loan. No, there won't be any issues. And because sometimes they'll take their merry time, unless you put that urgency on them, they're just gonna, you're the one, I like to say, you're the thermostat, right? You're the one that adjusts that temperature. You're not the thermometer, right? You're gonna make this, because you're gonna need to strike this thing we call that while it's hot, right? Once they
Oh,
get
it's
the
hot.
approval,
Yep.
you get the approval. Say, okay, I need you this. I need you to get this to me. Your pay stubs, your W-2, your tax return, and put urgency on that ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. And that's on you. If they're slow in getting those to you, it's because it's you. You're not putting urgency on that, right? And be Don't make again. You need to coach them during this time during the loan process. Do not make any large purchases. Like the same thing as the very beginning. Do not quit your job. Do not go to another job while you're in the loan process. Do not do that. Wait until the loan closes. Okay. That happens to me twice, and I haven't learned. So I still have to teach myself that, to remind these people while during the loan process, do not quit or do not move to another job, even if it's the same uh, uh, job, right? But a different hospital, for example, if it's a nurse. And then, also do not make large deposits. Okay, don't something that will not open up a can of worms. Like for the underwriters, you see because they'll ask for 2 months worth of bank statements. So let's say the last month, it was just like normal transactions on their transactional history on the bank statement, and then the following month there was like a $80,000 deposit. It was like,
Whoa.
okay, where did that come from? Okay, you're gonna have to source that. Oh, it's a gift. It was a wedding gift. We have this money dance, and I got like 80 grand from my all the people that came, but yeah, just coach them that, and be careful with online payments and cash deposits. And then yeah, so and then yeah, so yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you
Awesome.
guys.
Great. And I'll make sure to put all of these tips in the online group for everybody to kind of download. But yeah, Eddie, thank you so much. And Albert, thank you so much for all this input. And again, we only covered the first section of this training. So, and I don't want to go through the whole thing. I wanted to make sure that we just covered it a little bit. And then, if you guys want to come back for the next series, fantastic. But I kind of want to just leave the next 5 minutes or so. I know that we went a little bit over. For anybody that may have questions, feel free to ask, unmute yourself, and we can answer those questions right now if you like. So,
Harry, actually, I do. When
sure.
will
Okay.
we gain access to this feed here?
You mean the video?
No, like the modules, the training.
Oh, okay. Yep. So I need to send you just your welcome onboarding packet, which is
Okay.
going to be an email, and then you'll complete all the onboarding forms, and then within that same email, there's going to be step 3, which is request access to the Dials to Deals online group, and then once you have access to that, you can go right into the training in that learning section.
Okay, thank you.
So as soon as you complete that, absolutely, that's a good question. As soon as you complete that, you'll be right in.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, Perry, just
And
have
if you,
one comment.
sure,
Uh,
yep.
I know I've been trying to catch up with all of you. If I didn't catch you on the phone, I think Dominique, I know I got a message from you. Just give me a call. Maybe we can catch up either later this afternoon or tomorrow. Okay, I think I've spoken with everybody else. But if I haven't talked to you yet, and you're still looking to get that other part done, I mean, it looks like you guys are already in. You're here on this call, but if you want to have that conversation, just reach out later on. And then if you have any questions on the real estate side, just get my number from Perry, or you may have my number. Just text me, and I'm more than take the time to answer your questions. Okay, thank you, Perry.
Yeah, absolutely. And many of you on the call, you guys are either finishing up your licensing or going through the process of completing the courses. Stay on track, obviously stay plugged in. Understanding both sides, the loan side and the real estate side is important. It just makes your client experience, when you're providing the client experience, much more whole. I don't want to say holistic, but it's much better that and are familiar with both sides, and that that your team with Eddie and your team with Albert, they're all very, very versed on any scenario. I mean, we've probably done every scenario out there over the past 30 years. So, it's good to have that support on the back end. There's always going to be some question that you may have. Put them in the group. One of us is going to be able to answer them. Continue with the training, but the bottom line is once you start becoming active in terms of outbounding, getting out there, make sure it's consistent, right? What I am seeing today, it's the beginning stages of those that are new. They're making the effort. Now you just got to increase those efforts. So good job on those guys who are getting started. I know it's a transition. I know it's a change. You're kind of juggling various things. Stay at it. Stay at it. Learn as much as you can, but also stay active on the marketing side, which is going to be the combination of the calls itself. Make sure you're consistent on those calls. Get good at the calls. It's just like working out. Go to the gym. You don't like it or not, just go to the gym, get those reps in, right? And you'll get better over time. You'll see the results. And then at the same time, put in that, put in that extra rep on the social media, right? Do some extra social media, start building your brand, because all I know is the business model will never change, will not change once you get licensed. You're just going to be able to understand a lot more, right? And you're going to be able to get a little bit more of the commission as well. So my goal is to make sure that every one of those one of you that are moving towards becoming an agent, whether or not it's on the agent side or on the loan officer side, that you understand both real estate and finance, but you also identify who do you want to market to, right? Who is going to be your favorite type of ideal client? It's important. You don't want to be a master of all, even though you can serve everybody. Find out those that you want to specifically work with, right? Understand your current contacts, your sphere of influence. Who do I already know, and who do I want to serve, right? So, if there are no other questions, guys,
Hey, Perry.
please, yep, go ahead. Go ahead.
As you see, I'm sitting here with Eric.
Hey,
And
Eric.
man, this guy is on fire, brother. Just wanted to let you know because we've been meeting. He had committed to come here in the office to kind of just shadow me of what I do when I come in. Just he's just listening to all the conversation, like with the lender, with the appraisal, with the client. Like even that client that we just talked about, he was listening in, and he's just hungry, man. But I just wanted to share, have him share his experience because I know that you guys have cold call lists and that list that you provide. But for me, the best lead that every single one of you guys is your sphere of influence, like your family, your friends, everyone in your, on your cell phone. The thing I would say is that if you would have a big party today, like a special party, birthday party, who are all these people that you guys are going to invite? And then you put them down and we went over that together today. And then there's just so many, like I could probably find like maybe five like hot leads that we can actually approach right now. And that is the goal is to get this under their belt and to have that experience and to be able to close a loan and to feel that's like, oh man, this thing I can do, right? But go ahead and share a little bit.
Hi everyone. Yeah, definitely. I've been here for a month, and Perry, Albert, Eddie, Tom, everyone is always there for me. They have great support, and whatever questions you need, just don't hesitate to ask, even for me in the Dials to Deal group, and we could help each other out. But they're here to help us out and not let us fail. I mean, just within a month, like Eddie said, like I learned a lot, and I learned a lot, something new today again. So yeah, if you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'll post something on the Dallas Deal just to see if anyone has any questions or want to contact me.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, Eric, keep
Hey,
going.
Eric.
Keep doing what you need
Eric.
to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Eric, I got a comment. Hey,
Oh,
don't spend all your time with Eddie, okay? You need to come stop by stop by our other office, okay, man?
okay.
Just let you know. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up. Again, thank you so much for your time, everyone. And I'll get those documents out to those that have not yet signed up, officially signed your forms yet. Access the group, access the training as soon as you can, and then let's get rocking and rolling. So if you have any questions, you guys know how to get a hold of us. But other than that, you guys have a great day. Have a great rest of the week.